the meeting proceeded to discuss the ever-growing tense situation. At the same moment, in the dead city, Ulysses began to realize that his ancient, decaying nanotech no longer produced nutrients from the atmosphere, which had been designed to feed his human body in hostile environments. Desperate for food and water, he risked being seen and decided to hunt one of the many wild animals roaming the dead landscape. He eventually killed a wild hog with a low-powered single shot from his weapon. He also found dirty water flowing out from a pipe within a cracked wall. He built a fire near his hiding place to cook the hog and boil the water, into which he dropped a pill into the tin cup from a utility case fastened to his rusting, aged armor. The pill was designed to dissolve and purify the water. He also realized that movement was cumbersome, off balance as he was from the loss of one of his wings. That gift of ether, created centuries before to allow his eventual escape from the base, had now become a liability. Unable to fly but still dangerous, since the wing made for an effective blunt force, ether-charged weapon. His AI had also become more degraded and unpredictable. He was unable to tell the helmet AI to disengage his broken, rusted armor from his body. It was only a matter of time before his armor failed completely. The power cell on his back was nearly depleted, risking entombing him in dead, heavy mech armor. His helmet, also rusted and battered, had its own smaller power cell and was still somewhat useful. Now fed and watered, it was then that he heard a familiar beep. His helmet radio came to life, picking up a flicker of a signal. Surprised by this, he donned his helmet, connected to his AI, and told it to tune in to the faint signal. The AI also initiated its translation program. After its last encounter with Fae, its programming took longer than normal due to its degraded state to learn the basics of the Pixie tongue, similar to Old Irish mixed with other older languages, such as Sumerian and some unknown dialects, enough for the AI to translate via a chip in Ulysses' central forehead just under the skin, allowing him to speak directly the native tongue to whomever is on the other side of the faint signal. A crack of a voice shattered the static. A random skyship radio set connected, and a voice was heard. Ulysses risked it all by sending a vocal message to the unknown messenger. "Can you hear me?" The radio crackle. Ulysses only heard crackled silence. Crackled with a faint, inaudible voice. He spoke again. "Anyone there?" "Over," a gruff voice responded. "I hear you. Who speaks?" Ulysses paused for a moment, then he decided to talk. "I am Ulysses, the enemy being hunted in your world. I am prepared to surrender and wish safe passage and help." The skyship captain responded, "Where can we find you?" Ulysses, not sure whether he should disclose his position, decided to use his true name in the hope it would show he was not a monster in the people's eyes. "My real name is Jackson. And I am human and wish no harm to anyone." "Very well, Jackson. My skyship is at your disposal. Tell us where you are." Jackson almost forgot and realized that his AI was still active and would see anyone getting too close as a threat. "Captain, I will surrender, but only to Fet Fae. She is the only one who can get close to me, since our connection in the base, and the AI will no longer see her as a threat." The captain informed Jackson that Fae was in session with the High Council about meeting him in the Dead City. He convinced Jackson to hang tight a bit longer and wished him good luck. Jackson agreed. The radio shut off, and Jackson waited patiently. Jackson kept his helmet on, its filters laboring to scrub the foul, toxic air that his unadapted body couldn't tolerate for long. The atmosphere wasn't immediately deadly, but prolonged exposure left him racked with nausea, a slow poison seeping into his lungs. Time stretched into an agonizing eternity as he waited for any sign of movement, any whisper of rescue. To distract himself, he activated the helmet's built-in viewer, pulling up the grainy, flickering videos of his wife and children, faded relics of a life long extinguished, their warmth eroded by centuries of digital decay. Tears carved hot trails down his cheeks, blurring the already distorted images, as the brutal truth settled heavier than the armor weighing him down. They have been dust for over 1,000 years, their passing etched into Fae's reluctant revelations of time's merciless march. A sudden noise outside his hiding place shattered the fragile reverie, gravel crunching under heavy paws, a low growl rumbling like distant thunder. Military instincts surged through him, honed by battles he'd nearly forgotten. He froze, then pivoted with predatory precision. Helmet scope whirring to life, thermal overlays painting the ruins in ghostly reds and blues. He swept the perimeter, weapon braced and sighted, hovering on the trigger with lethal intent. The intruders materialized in his display, two hulking mutant black wolves, each the size of a standard military truck, their matted fur rippling over corded muscle as they tore into the remnants of the cooked hog. Drawn inexorably by the lingering scent of charred meat, they snarled and snapped at each other over the half-devoured carcass impaled on the spit above the dying embers, fangs glinting like scythes in the fire's dying glow. Jackson had never witnessed wolves so monstrous, their eyes burning with feral hunger amid the desolation. He held his breath, a statue in the shadows, unwilling to draw their gaze or squander his dwindling energy on a skirmish he couldn't afford. The beasts gorged with savage efficiency, bones cracking like gunfire in the hush, until at last they slunk away into the labyrinth of ruins, bellies swollen and satisfied. Relief washed over him like a cool draft. He retreated deeper into his dark brick cave, the weight of exhaustion finally claiming him. Curling into the unyielding embrace of rusted armor, he surrendered to the rare mercy of deep, unbroken sleep while the dead city held its vigil in silence. Back in Woods Grove, in the council chamber, Faye finally had her chance to speak, eager to state her case after hours of dull political discourse and discussions on the current situation. Just then, an elven male arrived with a message from the crystal radio room, a few doors down the vast corridors of the council building. He respectfully whispered the news into the attentive ear of one of the elders, a long-robed, white-bearded Pixie Fae male, and passed him a note transcribing the entire radio conversation. The elder urgently verbally interjected before Faye could begin. High Priestess. We have received an important message, offering apologies to Faye, the High Priestess Sophia, and the room at large. The elder silently walked over to Sophia, placing the transcribed note into her deep purple silk-gloved hand. Sophia fell silent. She rose from her seat, strong and serious in her demure, elegant stance, and quietly read the transcript while pacing back and forth. Her lilac wings fluttered and glowed brightly, betraying her concerned mood, while her long, flowing green silk gown brushed the floor, loosening dust particles that flickered. In the warm light of the council chamber, Faye leaned toward Maya and whispered, "What now? What is going on, sister?" Maya could only shrug, at a loss for what was unfolding. Murmurs of confusion and concern echoed through the large domed room. Sophia turned to face the assembly, her response blunt, yet laced with worry. "The situation has changed, and I must deal with this privately. Faye, Maya, would you please accompany me to my private office chamber?" Sophia dispenses with the usual formality of her role as leader, invites the two to relax. She sits on a plush-patterned half-moon-shaped sofa, matching a circular woodroom full of colorful exotic silk wall hangings around the circumference, a circular window directly behind her, showering the room with ambient golden light creating intricate patterns and shadows. Various potted plants create a pleasant atmospheric feel, with fragrances from the flowers and small shrooms filtering the air. With a slight ether mist, Faye and Maya are sat on a similar half-moon sofa directly parallel to the other one, facing the windows. An oval table sits in between them. A grand wood rune-capped clock ticks away softly at the left of the window, resting on a plush red carpet. The rune-capped wood panels line the walls behind the wall hangings. A wood burner to the right creates a warm, cozy environment. Sophia pours 3 silver tankards of steaming shroom tea from a swan neck kettle on the table, and passes one each to Faye and Maya, who sit quietly, anticipating the news from Sophia. She takes a sip from her tankard, placing it on the table, then speaks. "Faye. Maya. I know you are eager to hear my words, so I will get to the point. Ulysses has made contact with a skyship captain, a troll known as Machar, who spoke to him via radio." Faye reacts, excited, giddy, by the news. Maya maintains a stoic persona and listens intently. Sophia shows them the transcript of which the curious sisters read. Maya looks up and speaks. "This is good news. Do the council have a plan of action? Sophia pauses for a second to answer. We do. Maya, but I don't think you will like our proposal. Maya and Faye know what is coming next. Maya reacts, about to speak but is stopped by Sophia. Before you speak, Maya. Faye will not be allowed to confront Ulysses. Unless you sanction it. I will not interfere in family business. Faye's blue eyes glow with a wanting gaze at Maya, pleading with her to allow this to happen. I need time to think, grunts a troubled Maya, who walks to the window looking out at the great trees. A tense silence permeates the room. A few minutes pass, as indicated by the clock's regular chimes. Maya turns to Faye with an answer. Faye. My beloved sister. I know you are one tough pixie, you take after our father. And I will allow contact with Ulysses, with some conditions. I will come with you, and you will not approach within reach of this creature when you talk with him. I will be close and out of sight, with some armed backup hidden nearby. This is my final word on this. Faye feels that if anyone else is seen by Ulysses, or Jackson as she prefers to now call him, might make him attack, or attempt to flee. Even in his weakened state he is still deadly. Faye reluctantly agrees. She also politely corrects Maya. He is called Jackson, a genuine human, not a monster. Faye is determined to help this human of old, promising Maya she will tread carefully.